Hey everyone, it's Carissa Wiley at sprinkledwithglitter.com. Thanks for joining me today. Today I am sharing another video in my Simple Set series, and we're going to create 2 baby cards from one background, and I'm featuring brand new products from the Spellbinders Little Smile release. This is so much fun, and oftentimes I don't create a lot of baby cards, so I thought this would be a great opportunity. So first up is the Bundle of Joy die set. This creates a little stork with the little sling and the baby. Then we have the Falling Stars press plates. Now I love press plates because they can be used with your BetterPress system for a faux letterpress design, or you can use them with your Glimmer hot foil system to do some foiling. And finally, we have the Wishing Stars 3D embossing folder. I'll be using all 3 of these products in these projects today. I love something like a simple star embossing folder because it can be used for so many occasions. So I'm going to start with my Glimmer hot foil system, and I'm placing the Falling Stars press plate with the design face up onto my heated platform, and I'm setting the timer. And while that timer is running, I am going to grab the opal hot foil. Now this is one of the only foils that I actually keep on the roll because it is transparent and you can kind of see through it. It gives this iridescent finish. It's hard to tell which is the front and which is the back, so I just cut off the pieces as I need them. Now, all my other foils, I tend to cut down into panels and keep them in stamp pockets, but this one I keep on the roll so I know which side is the outside and which side is the inside. So the inside is the part that faces the inside of the roll, and that's the part that you want to face towards your paper. So the part that's on the outside of the roll, that's the part that you want to place towards your press plate. So once this is heated and my timer is done, I am removing the platform from the base of the Glimmer hot foil system. I'm placing my foil. Then I'm placing my Oceanside cardstock from the ColorWheel cardstock collection and my shims and running that through my Platinum 6 die cutting machine. And look at this beautiful background. I love this opal hot foil. It is such a beautiful effect. It looks great with ink blending over the top too, because it kind of creates that emboss resist feel. Now, if you wanted to, you could kind of line this up with the Wishing Stars 3D embossing folder and add some dimensional stars to this background as well. I'm not going to do that, but I will use this Wishing Stars embossing folder later on in the video. So now that I have one background created, I'm going to make 2 out of it. And I am using the Stylized Ovals die set from Spellbinders, and I'm die cutting an oval from the center of this A2 panel of cardstock. And that gives me a window area that I can use for a window card or a shaker card, and an oval area that I can use for a standard card front. Now I'll start die cutting all the pieces I need to create my stork and my little baby. I am using colors from the ColorWheel cardstock collection from Spellbinders, and I'm just looking at my dies over here on the left and making sure there's nothing else I need to cut from either this white or alabaster cardstock. I like to run as many dies through as I can at one time just to save some time. So you can see I'm starting out with the body of the stork and the little diaper here. I also have that cloud border. And for the little swaddle or the wrap or the sling for the baby, I'm using the alabaster cardstock. I wanted more than just white, and so I thought this was a good alternative for that. Now you could also die cut it out of some colored cardstock, but I wanted to keep the color schemes really simple. Now I have some scraps of the other ColorWheel cardstocks, and I'm doing some die cutting out of these for some different pieces. I have Fawn, and I'm using that for my baby. I'm using terracotta for the stork's beak. I also have Chiffon and Seaside, and I'm die cutting the little bow headband for the little girl baby out of the Chiffon, and I'm die cutting the little hat out of the Seaside for the little hat for the baby boy. So I'm gonna just work my way through all of my dies. I'm actually die cutting 2 of the babies, 2 of the wraps, and once I have everything die cut, I'm gonna start assembling. So I have my little beak here. The thing that's wonderful about the Spellbinders dies is oftentimes when several dies layer together, the dies will create an impression where you're supposed to put the other layers. So for instance, on the stork, there's a little impression where that beak is supposed to line up. Now this is the little hat for the stork, and it is die cut from 3 different colors of cardstock, and I will place that onto his head. And then for my baby, I am going to place the diaper first, which I have die cut out of white cardstock. And then I'm going to start assembling the hat on the head. And I had die cut some booties, but I decided to leave my baby barefoot because that's how they are often delivered. I work in pediatrics, so I know this well. I have my little baby girl headband, and I'm just layering up the 3 little pieces, the bow, the headband, and the little knot for the bow together to create that headband, and then I'll place it on baby girl's head here. And once I have that ready to go, I'm going to position her in the front part of the swaddle or the sling and kind of tuck some glue behind that. I wanted the diaper to show on the left-hand side, so I was careful about kind of where I put everything. Then I can add her little arm, which kind of comes out from the inside and goes to the outside. And then I'll place these swaddle pieces or these sling pieces all together. Now I ended up taking those apart and using some foam adhesive for that. But this is kind of how they all go together. So you can see my baby girl is all put together. She's with the stork up there on the upper left-hand side, and I'm finishing up my little baby boy. Now there's also pieces that die cut the little cheeks that inlay and the eyes. I did not show you that in this video, but you'll just place those behind and kind of nestle them into the openings. So now I'm kind of planning out my 2 cards. I'm going to make one window or shaker card and one card that has like this oval front on it. And I decided I wanted to create several cloud borders for these various cards. So I am using some vellum here and the cloud border that's included in the Bundle of Joy die set. And I'm die cutting several pieces of vellum. You'll see that this is intended as a border, so you'll just finish off the cut line with your scissors if your cardstock or your paper is larger than your die. So once I have those die cut, I am adding my stork onto the edge of this stylized oval using some foam adhesive, and then I'll add my baby with her kind of hanging from the stork's beak. I think this is so cute. And once I have those in position, I'll take a couple of the cloud borders and adhere them to the bottom of this oval. First, I'm going to trim off the excess of the stork. Now, there are some various ways that you could adhere these cloud borders. I decided just to use the tiniest amount of liquid glue. It is not too visible on the side, but if you wanted to conceal this behind your sentiment, you could definitely do that. Like I said, I'm just using the tiniest drops of liquid glue to adhere these cloud borders onto the bottom of my oval. I am going to adhere that one down, allow the glue to kind of set up, and then I'll trim around the bottom of this oval with my scissors. And then I'm going to add a second layer of clouds to this just to add, a little more to the scene itself. Now, if I had done this before I placed my stork and my baby, I could have just repositioned my die over this vellum and die cut the cloud border to fit the stylized oval, but I didn't do that. So I just carefully trimmed around the bottom with my scissors, and you can see my double cloud layer there on the bottom. I think it turned out just fine. Now for card number 2, we're going to you can make this a window card, but I'm going to make it a shaker card. I'm turning this over to the back side and I'm adding some liquid glue around that opening. And I am going to layer up a few of these cloud borders. I'm starting with the narrowest one towards the top, and I'm going to stack some others behind it. I'm just making sure that I add liquid glue over the layers that I've already positioned so that everything stays in place nicely. And then once I have those in place, I can flip this over again and trim off any excess. I'm just kind of placing these at different angles to add some interest. And again, I'll just use my scissors to trim off any excess. These scissors, by the way, are amazing. If you do not have them, you should pick up a pair. They're great for cutting foil, as you saw earlier in the video. They also, do a great job with cardstocks and twines and things like that. I have a couple of pairs in my drawer. Now, if you wanted to make this a window card, you could stop right here and just pop this up on a card base, but you know me, I love a good shaker card because I love some sparkle and shine. And so I'm taking some strong double-sided adhesive and going around the border on the back side of this card front so that I have some adhesive where I can add some acetate. So once I have all of the adhesive around the outer border of the back side of this window opening, I'm going to remove the backer, and then I'm going to grab a piece of clear acetate and position that on the back side of my card front. This is going to create the clear window where I can add all of my shaker pieces on the inside. Now, before I move any further, I'm just going to make sure that I like this setup, and I think that I do. So I'm going to flip this back over, and I'm going to use some 3mm foam tape. This is a little thicker than your standard foam tape. This is from scrapbook.com, and I'm just going around the outer border again on the back side of this card front, and I'm making sure that all of the foam adhesive is touching the foam adhesive that it's next to, so that there's no gaps or openings that any sequins or little confetti can sneak out of. So I'm just closing in all those gaps, trimming that down. Now, before I put my shaker bits inside, I'm going to work on some sentiments. And these sentiments are from my It's My Party collection. It's a collaboration between me and Spellbinders. It was released a year or two ago now, and I have some great baby sentiments in here. I have Welcome Baby, I have Congrats, and I'm going to use these to create some hot foil sentiments. So I have them positioned on my Glimmer hot foil machine with the platform warmed up, and I'm trimming down some small pieces of champagne foil. I also have little bits of Chiffon cardstock and Seaside cardstock. So once my timer has completed, I'm going to remove the platform from the Glimmer base. I'm going to place my foil with the pretty side facing towards the pattern of the press plate or the hot foil plate in this instance. These are hot foil plates, not press plates. And then I'll add my cardstock on top, and I'll add my thin shim and my spacer pad that come with the Glimmer hot foil system, and I'll run this through my die cut machine. And this is going to transfer that gold foil onto the colored cardstock. By the way, have I mentioned I am loving the new colors from Spellbinders in their ColorWheel cardstock collection. So you can see I have that adorable hot foiled Congrats, and I have the adorable Welcome Baby sentiment. As I mentioned, these are from an older collection that I released with Spellbinders. It's still available, so you can pick up these hot foil sentiments. So I'm just putting the sentiments with the respective cards that it will go with, and I'm just kind of trying to figure out, do I like these? Do I need to make another one? Let's see, I was happy with it in the end, so now I'm going to take a piece of fog cardstock, and I'm going to use that Wishing Stars 3D embossing folder and emboss this panel of cardstock. So I am using the platform as well as that D plate, which is the recipe that the platform spells out for you for a 3D embossing folder, and I've run that through, and now I have those dimensional stars in the background for my shaker card. I'm adding my sentiment on with some foam adhesive, and then I'm adding my little baby kind of hanging from the clouds with some foam adhesive as well. These are just adhered right directly to that shaker window. And then I have that panel of cardstock here that I am going to adhere to my card base. Now, because there is so much dimension on this, I did use some liquid glue to adhere it to an A2 size white card base. And then once I have that positioned in place, I'm going to add some sparkly stars and some sparkly confetti onto this card front. Then I will remove the backer from the foam adhesive, and I'm going to position this right over the top of that card base, press everything down, make sure it's making good contact because I do have those dimensional stars, and that finishes off my little baby boy card. So let's go ahead and put together the baby girl card. I have die cut a larger one of the ovals from the Stylized Oval die set from some gold cardstock, and I'm placing this little oval with all my die cut scenes on there using some foam adhesive. So this is just going to give it kind of a matte layer and pull in the gold that's in the sentiment that I created earlier. And speaking of sentiment, I will take that next and place that onto the bottom portion of this oval using some foam adhesive. And then I'll take that entire thing and add it to an ivory card base to finish this off. So that completes 2 baby cards from one simple background. I love that you can oftentimes create one large stamped or foiled background and get a couple of cards out of it. And I especially love that I now have a couple of baby cards in my stash because baby season is coming to our church very quickly. And now I have a couple of cards in my arsenal for all those baby showers I'll be attending. Now, I realize that some people will probably say I should have made the baby girl card, the shaker card, and the baby boy card, the oval card, but I love kind of mixing this up, and the person that I'm giving the baby boy card to, she's gonna love that it's a shaker card with all those sparkles. Now, as always, I will have links to the featured products used in these projects in the description at YouTube. So if you're looking for something in particular, be sure you check there, or you can head on over to my blog at sprinkledwithglitter.com. I'll have that linked below as well. Over there, you'll find more still shots, more information, and a complete list of supplies. As always, I want to say thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with me today. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed these projects, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications here so you don't miss any of my card making, paper crafting video tutorials, as well as my Carissa Crafts live stream broadcasts. Also, I would love for you to leave me a comment below and let me know which of these two cards is your favorite. I think mine is the little boy shaker card. Thanks again for showing up and for watching, and until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day. Hey, thanks for sticking around to the very end. You know, if you've made it this far, you are one of my favorites. To subscribe to my channel, go ahead and click the button on the left side of the screen. And here's a couple more video tutorials I thought you might enjoy.